We'll talk about the new administrative capital as President Sisi directs to launch an initiative in cooperation with international universities in the new administrative capital to sponsor a number of outstanding students from Upper Egypt to study in these international universities in the capital. And to shed more light on this issue, I'm joined over the phone by Dr. Nabil. He's an educational expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, sir, what's your take on President Sisi's decision to invite students from Upper Egypt to come and study in international universities in the capital?
This is the most important thing I've ever heard, that due care is now given not only to the capital of the Republic or the Delta area, but also for Upper Egypt. And these students are no more neglected. They are under the focus and attention of the political leadership to be joining such new and promising university for their own future. I mean, for the new learners coming in. So this is a gigantic step which we should be backing up all the time.
Yes. So, Dr. Nabil, how do you see the government's efforts to sign twinning agreements with many international universities and to help in improving education, especially higher education here in Egypt?
Sure. We have heard recently about twinning of universities, I mean with the Egyptian universities along with the foreign universities, plus the non-governmental governments which were inaugurated last year. They were inaugurated last year. And the private universities we have all nationwide, and all these communities, I mean educational communities, will be not, I can say, competing with each other, but will be giving a very great push for our students to pick a flower from each orchard, as we usually call it. So if they are cooperating together, and I think the Supreme Council of Universities is the authority who supervises and gives all requirements needed for such universities, and this makes them on the right path.
Yes. So also, sir, to what extent the educational system in Egypt has been modernized and reformed during the past few years?
Well, I think nobody can deny these industrious efforts which concern the importance of education, high education in particular, and I really have to mention the technological education, which is a must nowadays, because all the future enterprises, companies or activities will depend on such thing like technology. Technology is now not for leisure; it's a must in every field one can imagine in our life, for now and for the future. Let us get role models from those who have already preceded us in such a field, and imitate them, cooperate with them, invite professors, well-known scientists, researchers to come to Egypt, and on the other hand, to send some of our students for, say, even summer scholarships, to have such training which has its fruitful results on their performance.
So, sir, to what extent the new universities, the ones in the new administrative capital and others in the new Alamein city, many universities were established during the past few years. To what extent these universities are attractive to international students?
I think if they were not attracting students, we wouldn't have heard about those who have already joined them. So their parents, I mean the students' parents and the students themselves, look forward to having a better future and promising careers when they graduate. And if they do not exist, I think nobody can be assisting them. They have the backup of the leadership, the political leadership, the Ministry of Higher Education, and even the parents who encourage their children, whether young men or young women, to join such universities. They sacrifice a lot, I mean financially, but they hope for a better future for their for this young generation. I mean their children.
Yes.
And I mean the young men, of course, the young women.
Yes, of course. So, Dr. Nabil, the Ministry of Education also has launched a national strategy to reform and develop technical education. How can such a strategy meet the needs of the workforce market according to international standards, as well as the latest developments considering the new curricula and systems of technical education in the country? To what extent paying such an attention to technical education is important at this stage, as it will help Egypt to achieve its strategy 2030, its plan?
I'm so happy that you emphasized the idea of the technical education.
Yes.
That's what actually we need nowadays.
Yes.
It's a must. We cannot only concentrate on theoretical ideas and theoretical subjects and leave this future topic of the technology. However, this technical education needs experts to be teaching and to be giving instructions. And we have to have a sort of training, not only for the learners, but also for the trainers themselves. The TOT, the training of trainers. So if they have this good training, they have up-to-date ideas to be performed, seeking knowledge from all over the world, for those who are specialized in the fields of technology, I think the result will be very promising and very fruitful for the future of our young generation in our beloved country, Egypt.
Yes, also Dr. Nabil, how can the state bridge the gap between educational programs and the needs of the market?
Yeah, this bridging needs actually to be studied as a plan, or let me say the roadmap for educating such students, and to examine the available procedures to be followed, and then weighing or balancing the after effects, I mean, to evaluate the positive and negative points. Everybody knows that the positive points should be emphasized and repeated again and again. And the positive points, the negative points to be avoided in order to so have a sort of reformation of them not to follow them again. And the praise and the financial support, I think, will be available, because students in such private universities or even non-governmental universities do not have their education free. But the money paid, and I think it will be refunded later on in their performance to help developing this country and having progress to be top universities and to have top experts in these fields of technology.
Sir, what are the challenges that still face the educational process here in Egypt and still challenge its development, as we can all see that overpopulation is one of these challenges? What else do you think is still hindering the educational development in Egypt?
You mentioned a good point concerning the overpopulation.
Yes.
However, this is, I think, what the investors call the manpower. If we invest this manpower in useful projects, in useful studies such as technology, which you have mentioned, I think this will be, the bridge will be gapped, because when the others who follow these students see how they advance and how they have very good, promising, good job opportunities. They will go in their track. They will follow their steps. And even if some parents, as I repeat, sacrifice the tuition fees they pay, they will find so near, I mean in the very near future, they will find the results that they hoped to have. You know that parents usually sacrifice everything for the new generation, I mean the offspring and the future youth of our country.
Yes, Dr. Nabil Gad, an educational expert. Thank you, sir, for being with us. And the viewers, back to our local reports. And Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri and President of the 27th session of the UN Climate Change Conference, COP27, reaffirmed the importance of activating a breakthrough agreement to provide loss and damage funding for vulnerable countries hit hard by climate disasters. Details from
and President of the 27th session of the UN Climate Change Conference, COP27, Sameh Shukri, has reaffirmed the importance of activating a breakthrough agreement to provide loss and damage funding for vulnerable countries hit hard by the climate disasters. This came in a recorded speech during the inauguration of the